Today, we're going to be learning how to craft the perfect Instagram bio for business owners. How it's going to work is, first off, I'm going to explain the psychology that has to be covered in a bio in order to get more followers, better branding, and more website clicks. Once you understand the psychology, then I'm going to show you how to implement. We're going to look at my account. We're going to look at some other examples. So we got a lot to cover. Let's get right into it. The 3 fundamental pieces of psychology that have to be covered in your bio in order to maximize everything with it. First off, a unique value offering. This is going to be why someone should follow your account and for the reasons that they're not going to find anywhere else. The second one is a factual credibility statement. Maybe you've been in business for however many years. You have this many clients. You have this many happy customers, this many return clients. You have been featured in this magazine. You are trusted by this many other people in your market, right? Something like that. So it's going to make a lot more sense once we get into the examples, but that is the second component. And then the third component is so we can get more people to click on our link. So rather than just saying learn more at the link below or not even talking about the link at all and just having a link there, we are going to really sell them on why clicking that link is going to be even more entertaining than Instagram. So here is my bio as it is now. The first line, inventor of the social launch formula. This is just my own technique, and you're going to hear me mention this a lot. For those of you who are coaches, this is going to be one of the best things that you can say as the first line of your bio, but that is my signature giveaway strategy. So that is what I have there, and it instantly sets me apart as my unique value offering. This is what you can learn from me that you can't learn anywhere else, which just gives a reason to follow me. The second thing, host of the top-rated Instagram marketing podcast, and then in brackets, 1 million plus downloads. So host of the top-rated Instagram marketing podcast. I call myself the top-rated because of all the Instagram marketing-focused podcasts. I have more reviews than any of them by quite a bit. There's a couple social media general podcasts that have more than me, but as far as Instagram marketing, that's what I put. And it's better to be the number 1 of something. So I put like the top rated one, right? Than the number 5 of something else. So even though I might be like the number 5 rated social media podcast, I am the number 1 Instagram marketing. So it's better to display credibility wherever you are the number 1 in a category. So be thinking along those lines. And then 1 million downloads, just hit that last month, but I put that in the bio because, hey, if I have over 1 million downloads, that's already testament enough, that's already credibility enough that it's a good podcast. I don't have to tell you it's a great podcast and throw out this opinion. I get to just say some kind of stat to back me up. And then the last line is get my 2022 Meta Ads course for free. And that is why people would click the link. And I even have a link tree. So there's even multiple links that they could click there. But at the top of a link tree, I always put what lines up with that last line of the bio. And I make it real big, real bold, very easy for people to know exactly what to do. So if you do a link tree, I would still promote one single link from your bio because you can't really be like, check out everything below. And they'll be like, okay, let me click on the link tree and then let me click on the 5 other things. This is so great. Like they're not ever going to do more than 1 link click. Like you'd be lucky to even get them to do that. So just if you do a link tree, the bio link is still promoting one single thing and you put that at the top of the link tree. So I'm going to go into some examples now and let's cover as many as we can. I'm going to go kind of quick. First one we got here is orkenlabel. Her bio reads, for active, adventurous women to whom style and femininity are also important. By the way, this is a women's clothing company. Should say that first. Second bullet point, founded by Shiva Novenfar. And third bullet point, find your next favorite outfit below. So let's break it down. First bullet point, for active, adventurous women to whom style and femininity are also important. This is pretty general. It's good that it calls out your target market. This is a great strategy to use in the first line of the bio. Just directly call out your target market so that they know they're in the right place right away. So I love that, the incorporation of your target market right there. Because your target market is for active, adventurous women, and that is still like most women would probably identify themselves as that, even if they're not. It still doesn't really like call out to a specific audience, and it's clothing, so it's hard to really be niched down, and you don't really need to. So I think it's good. I don't think a ton needs to be done there. To whom style and femininity are also important. So style is just like a given, right? It's like obviously they're going to be, it's going to be important to them. So I would probably maybe even just for active adventurous woman as the first line of the bio might even be good by itself, because I'm going to make some other changes to the rest of your bullet points here, which will require more room. The second one, founded by Shiva Novenfar, and then she just has her personal account linked with 200 followers. So it doesn't even matter how many followers you have, but using your personal account, like especially as the second thing in your bio, is not a good idea. If Instagram can see that the amount of time someone spends on your page on average isn't high, that will affect your overall account's, engagement score, like whatever. It just kind of affects it. So you don't want the first thing people to do when they're checking out your account and deciding to follow you or not is go check out your other account. Like this doesn't really they don't really care about brands humanizing themselves, even though they would probably say they do. Like it doesn't really matter at all. Like they'll just as likely buy from you whether they know who is in charge of the company or not. And unless you're really trying to grow your personal brand, it is just distracting them from look at my clothing, make a decision about my clothing. Here is some information about my clothing company. We don't, as the second thing they ever see, it should not be your profile. I would not put that in there at all. Third bullet point is find your next favorite outfit below, and then it's got an arrow pointing to the bio link. Now, this is something that I love that she did because there's a downward pointing hand pointing at the bio link, and this is a great way to increase the amount of website clicks you do that you get. If you just have the bio link touching the rest of the words, as we'll see on some of these other examples, it just looks very clustered and people are a lot less likely to read it. It kind of makes your bio appear as this like 6 or 7 line paragraph. And for ADHD people like myself and a lot of the entrepreneurs out there, that when you see this big paragraph, you're just not even going to start reading it a lot of the time. So having this downward pointing finger that is in between your bio text and then the bio link is a great way to get more people reading your bio and clicking on it. And then find your next favorite outfit below is great. So if you come out with new new product launches, I'd probably change it to reflect the product launches, or anything that comes out that is a little bit more exciting than find your next favorite outfit below, then change up that last line of the bio. And that is one that you actually want to be changing up all the time. Anytime you change your link, then the last line of your bio should change. Or if you have some kind of sale promo, any kind of campaign going on, that third line of your bio should always change to it. And just to clarify before I move on here, do you have to do 3 bullet points? No, but this is just a really good guideline to do it. And I don't recommend you do paragraph format. So I actually will say you should do bullet points. This is also going to make it so you can structure your wording with a lot less words and it's more acceptable. When you're doing long form sentences, then you obviously kind of have to complete your whole thought and there's just a lot more characters used to say less. So when you do bullet point, you can get a lot more info out there. It's a lot easier for ADHD brains to just gravitate to and be like, okay, I can do 1 bullet point at a time rather than this mess of a paragraph. And then it just is structured a lot better. Ultimately, as long as the 3 pieces of psychology that I talked about are covered, you're okay. And then for bullet points, using emojis can be great. So if you would rather swap those out with emojis that reflect your brand, I think that looks really good on an account. So the 3 bullet point bio is really, I feel like, the easiest way to go. Moving on to Cavalier Couture, this is apparel for equestrian. So people who ride horses, they would buy these leggings and various other things. Leggings is the main product that they sell, though. I took a brief look at some of these accounts beforehand just to make sure they'd be good ones I'd be doing. So that's why I'm knowledgeable about this. And she also is one of my students in my program. She used to be actually. So that's how I know Cavalier Couture. Her bio reads, athletically inspired equestrian wear for the stylish rider who likes to keep it comfortable in the saddle. Get comfy here with hands pointing down at the link. So athletically inspired equestrian wear for the stylish rider. Athletically inspired equestrian wear, not bad. The question is that unique? Or is every other equestrian wear the same kind of deal? Like, so obviously it's probably designed for the stylish rider, or at least every other company, whether you think they are designed like that or not, would claim themselves to be. So it's very common verbiage. And then athletically inspired, I mean, obviously these are pants for people doing an athletic sport. So are they all that? If so, then this would not be a unique value offering. It would just be a more basic value offering, which is okay, but it doesn't really set you apart in the right way we want to. For her name, she has Cavalier Apparel, and that's great because I like when the name just does spell out what you do very simply. If anything, I would maybe change your name to Cavalier Couture Equestrian Apparel. I think that would be a lot better, actually, for that bolded name at the top of the bio. Saying just Equestrian Apparel right there will also help you on search ranking. So if someone types in Equestrian Apparel, you would probably come up because it would see that you have that exact match in your bio name. So I would absolutely change it to Cavalier Couture Equestrian Apparel. And then I would think about what is unique about our company, like truly unique. And if there isn't something truly unique about where the product is made or the materials you use, or if there's like an extra pocket that other brands don't have, if you don't have some kind of unique thing like that, or what a lot of companies might do is their unique thing could be that they're like donating to charity and such. And that's good, but it also can be really hard to frame that in the correct way, by the way. And also it's hard to use it in a way to get more sales when you have like you donate to charity. Like it's difficult, but that might be another unique way of proposing yourself. And then say some kind of factual credibility statement. I know this company has actually gotten quite a bit of sales. So you could have mentioned 500 happy customers so far, something like that. 500 happy riders are out there wearing Cavalier Couture, just some kind of fact that builds a lot of credibility. And then for the last line that says get comfy here and points to your bio, one, I would move this hand to be between your bio text and the link like we talked about. And then get comfy here is not bad. It's a lot better than like learn more. But I would maybe promote, like if you have a specific sale going on or a new style out, anything like that, it might be a little bit, spicier and more tempting for people to want to click on the link. Clicking on the link, by the way, you have, she's got about 10 different links in her link tree. Now, there's actually a really famous TED Talk that talks about how much data humans can process at one time, and the amount of energy it takes for a human to process 6 options versus 7 is quite a bit. It's like 10 times the amount of energy to process 7 versus 6. So I have a strict rule of not going over 6 options on my link tree, but even then, I really like to go more like 2 or 3. A lot of these here are for like shopping the different collections, where it would be better to just have like shop the new mental health collection like you have here or whatever when it debuts. Otherwise, it shouldn't be there. Like you can only really promote like one thing at a time. So I would have these options go away when they're not the one that is the main focal point. Otherwise, when people get over here, they're not like, oh, wow, there's like 10 links. Let's go through them all. They're just like 10 links, I'm gone. And they just instantly scroll out. So you really want to minimize that amount of links on there. Moving on to the next account, looks like we got High End Detail. A lot of my students, which is or former students, and this was not intentional. It looks like the rest of the list isn't as many, but higher expectations for these ones. So this one, High End Detail. This guy does High End Detail window tinting in Miami. He does other various automotive repairs, but let's see what he's got here. So this would be for you local-based service companies is who this is a great example for. He's got cool emojis for each of these bullet points, by the way, but Miami's highest rated detailer, ceramic coating, PPF film installer, get 20% off on all window tinting for August. So first line, Miami's highest rated detailer, pretty damn good. I would also have the first word, the first letter in all of the words be capitalized. This is a point I should have made before. All of you do this, like no exceptions. Like it looks so much better. I don't care like who tells me otherwise. It does not look good. Capitalize every single word in your bio. It just does not look good when it's just all these small little words. It doesn't get people's attention to read it. You really want to do this. So highest rated, the H and the R should both be capital there. It will just look a lot better. Ceramic coating. So this would be an example of like you trying to make a branding statement, but that is not necessarily known by your coldest market. Okay, like the coldest market, there's plenty of people who want window tinting that don't really know ceramic coating is like something to write home about. They're just like, okay. And then PPF film installer, that does not matter. That's a credibility statement to other window tinters, but not to your customer. So I would probably get rid of that. And like what the customer actually cares about would be like same day scheduling your window tinting. The speed of the service is more what they'd care about. Like give us a call and come in today. Like if that's possible, if you have walk-ins that are available, that might be a big boost of why your company is good over other ones. And I would probably do more credibility statements like over this many 5-star reviews on Google, right? Like something that everyone would get. And then the last line, get 20% off on all window tinting for August. Perfect. That's exactly what you want. You'll just want like a downward arrow or hand to the link. Moving on, guys. I'm going through these quick. You can tell I'm in the zone. We are reviewing accounts. I've done so many Instagram account reviews is why I know exactly what I want to say for each of these. But stick with me here. By the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly how to do a bio, and you'll never have to look at bio information again. So we are moving on to the Hairdressers Social Club, Vivian John's social media courses for hair and beauty. So I've spoken with Vivian in the past, so I know what she does. She trains hairstylists how to get more clients on Instagram. Okay, so she's like an Instagram marketing specialist, but she just is niched down to hairstylists. So her bio reads, I teach hair and beauty pros how to be more visible on Instagram. Join the Hairdressers Social Club Hub. Stay motivated, consistent, and inspired with a downward pointing hand. So this is the last time I'm going to say this one, but I really want to hammer it in. It looks so much better if you capitalize the first letter in each word. No ands, ifs, or buts. No one even argue that. It just looks so much better. You should also do bullet points because it just looks clustered. You can do, fun like pink emojis to go with the branding of your page. I'd probably recommend that. But making it into bullet points just makes it a lot easier for people to read. But then you have this out of order. You have join the Hairdressers Social Club Hub as the second line, and then the third line is stay motivated, consistent, and inspired. The join the Hairdressers Social Club Hub is like your promotion of the link. So that should be the last line, and then this hand should be on a separate line. But then stay motivated, consistent, and inspired. This is too much of a right? This is like every account's trying to do that. You're obviously not trying to make people not motivated, not consistent, and uninspired. So there's no reason to say it, or it's not unique, and it's not what we want in our 160 characters that, to make a first impression with people. This would be an example of an account where if you have some kind of unique method that you teach people for how hairdressers can grow, because there's a lot of you, right? When these hairdressers are deciding who do I want to follow for my Instagram marketing help, they're not trying to follow all of you. They're trying to follow the best one of you usually. Maybe 2 or 3 tops, but a lot of people only follow like one person for each market. So unless you can own that spot, then you might not be there at all. So you want to use, if you have some kind of special method, let's say that your method is called the social club method, then you might do something like I did, like the innovator of the social club method for getting hairstylists leads within 30 days. If you say something like that, they're like, okay, why even follow anyone else? I help hairdressers use the social club method to get leads, to get their calendars booked in this amount of time, to get this many leads in this amount of time. Obviously, whatever you can promise is all that you can play with here, but sell it a little bit harder. Let them know, like, I just found the best growth coach and all I had to do was read her bio to know it. They don't have, like, you don't want them like go through like 10 of your reels before they're like, oh, she knows her stuff. You want to say something right out of the gate that's like, I'm going to get you more clients right away. Do I have your attention? Because that's really what they're going for. Then stay motivated, consistent, inspired. Just completely delete it. And then just do some kind of branding credibility statement. How many clients have you helped? Lots of the examples that I've already given. So I'm not going to dive into it too much, but look for that factual credibility statement is really what you're missing. We are moving on to mentalbakedownhtx. This is a bakery out of Houston, and I do know Allie, so I do know that she is doing this out of her home. She does not have a physical storefront, so keeping that in mind here for the bio. So she's got emojis. They look really nice. They're like cupcake and cake ones. Gotta use those. First line says custom cakes and other treats. Next one says self-taught baker. Next line says Houston, Texas, DM for inquiries. And then the next one says owned and operated by Allie, and she's got her personal account tagged. So first line, custom cakes and other treats. That's unique, but it's also like every other bakery has that. So we're looking for like what's the unique value offering. If you're the first bakery to offer marshmallow cream infused cupcakes, then put that there. And if you're not, consider being that, or consider doing something different. So for a lot of you, if you're like, I don't have this unique thing, that is more telling that, think of what this unique thing might be, because you might have to create it. Or if you don't have a factual credibility statement about your company, then you might have to go out and try to create it. There's always something that you can make for wherever you're at, but the more reputable your business actually gets and the more things you do, maybe you enter in some cooking or baking competitions so that you can say, I got this place in the Houston Bake Off. Like, you want something like that. That's a factual credibility statement. So, hey, if you've been on the news, if you've been featured anywhere, we want to get this in here. But for the first line, custom cakes and other treats, we're going to want to make that more whatever your unique value offering is. So in this case, something that you do that the other bakeries do is you probably drive it out to their house. So maybe even if you just said custom cakes and other treats delivered right to your door, now all of a sudden we have something unique going on here versus the other bakery. Otherwise they're like, I don't like, where is this? It should be very obvious to people too that you don't have a physical storefront, so they already know how your sales process works. And they're not like trying to guess like, oh, let me Google Maps this. Cause I could see if my mom like found this account, she'd be like, oh, mental bakedown. Let me Google Maps where they are. Like, she doesn't get like, they're going to ship it to me. She'd be looking for where it is. So I would probably make that very clear in your first line. Self-taught baker. I think it's got like an emotional pathos appeal, but this is actually not good to use in branding because to use a more extreme example, it would be like going to a doctor and he's like, I'm a self-taught doctor. It's like, that's cool. Big ups to you. That's amazing. You taught yourself that. I don't want you operating on me, but that's awesome, right? So it doesn't fully give you a lot of credibility. So I think people really support it. They're like, I'm about that. I love that. That's maybe something more that you say to them like after the job when they're like, this is amazing. You're like, self-taught, baby. And they're like, oh my God. And then it comes full circle. But like, as like the second thing I want you to know about me is that I lack experience, is subtly what we're saying here. So I probably wouldn't put self-taught baker as that line. I would put more like, this many happy customers, been in business this long, something along those lines, whatever credibility statement you have. Third line is Houston, Texas, DM for inquiries. DM for inquiries, I wouldn't have none of you should have this actually, because if they want to inquire, it's just known. They can figure that out, so we don't need to waste the characters on it. And then we also usually want to push people to our website as the next line of the sales process here, because as far as like these people who are, they just got to your account and the third thing they're ever hearing from you is DM me, they're probably not ready yet. So it's just a little bit too early to like request the call to action that is like DM me to buy, essentially, because they're not going to like, they don't want to DM you for pricing. They want to like DM you to buy. They want to look at your website for pricing, and that's most likely going to happen before they would buy. So we want to more have the call to action be there. The other thing is like Houston, Texas, how it is labeled there. You get a boost of your post showing to people in your local area if you have your business listed as a local business. So I would maybe even like her business account type. As you can see, it says like Mental Bakedown, and then it says bakery underneath. What I would do is that bakery there, you should switch your business type to local business, because then that will make your posts and your account just get recommended to people in your area. And unless you get people in your area, the social media effort doesn't really do anything for having the potential for sales, because you can't like ship outside of the state, I'm pretty sure. So you want to utilize that local business tag. And then for Mental Bakedown, then you would put bakery after that. And then the last line, owned and operated by Allie. Obviously, still great to get some followers over there, and Allie does well. She's got over 1,200 followers on her personal, but this is not the next best thing to do. So I'd probably more just like tag your personal account in like where you're in the photo with the cake, then tag your personal account, and that's how you can tie it in. Or maybe you could even do collaboration posts with your business and personal account sometimes if you want to cross over those worlds. To which we got one more thing. So lots of good things to come out of Allie's review here, but the link is actually to Facebook. You don't ever want to link Facebook from Instagram, because when you click on it, it opens up within the Instagram app. And even though it's the same company and they haven't figured this out yet, you won't be logged in. So like you click on this here and it shows like, oh, you're not logged in. And then it's like a pain in the ass to log in to Facebook. For me, like, I don't know about you guys, like I put in all my credentials and it's like, cool, we'll send you a text, and then I never get the text, and then I just give up. So have that link to a website that has your basic pricing is the best way you can go about this. Moving right along, y'all. I think I'm going to do 3 more. I don't know how long this episode already is. We're going to do 3 more. Then for the rest of you, I'm going to hit you up individually. Cool. So this one is Essential Wellness with Krista. Health and beauty market, handcrafted with love, intention, and magic. Bath soaks, sprays, rollers, and more. Blend mind, body, and spirit. Reiki master. Message for wholesale options. Right? So that is my impression of that one. You are just clustering it with too much stuff, but we got a lot of great stuff in there. So handcrafted with love, intention, and magic. That is also what like pretty much everyone says. So anything that would be like, oh, these are just common adjectives in my market, handcrafted, very hard for that to mean anything. In any market, are you ever like, it better be handcrafted? It's just like overused. I would more focus on if there is anything in your oils that is really setting it apart, right? The unique value offering. If you've got some really cool structuring of how you do an offer, maybe you've like a subscription plan for oil, something like that. It doesn't always have to be a unique thing about the product. It could also be a unique way of buying it that you have. If you have a unique way of how you package it and how people buy it from you, that can be your unique value offer. So I would avoid these more generic words. And then bath soaks, sprays, rollers, and more. They can kind of see that just from going through your account. So